This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I am your host, Kipp Cohen, here for the next 60 minutes for actually today a special session on trading S&P futures or any of the other indexes if you want to cover that. But my primary focus is to talk about trading S&P futures today. The training session is being recorded and will be posted to our YouTube page. If you have questions throughout the session, you can submit them through the GoToMeeting chat. I do these sessions every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern. They are typically geared for the subscribers of Clearlines or for those that have interest in learning more about Clearlines, as well as the Medved Trader platform. If you have questions outside of this session, you are definitely welcome to send me emails at kipp@equity-alerts.com or call or text me on my cell phone. So again, the topic for today is trading S&P futures using Clearlines. So let's talk about a couple of the basics at first. A couple of the basics. First of all, if you have interest in trading S&P futures, you will need data from a futures broker. If you have an account with TD Ameritrade, you can actually get quotes for futures. As you can see, I have quotes up at the top for all the different futures. You'll have to just, you probably have to call and request it. I don't think you can do it online. You probably actually have to call them directly and make that request. And the great thing about with TD is there are no additional charges for futures data. So they do provide that for free. If you have an account with Interactive Brokers, a live trading account with Interactive Brokers, you will also need to request futures. They might have a small fee for the data. You'll have to check with them. I do know there are a couple of additional futures brokers that that do connect to Medved. If this is something you decide you really like, Gain Capital, as well as Optimus futures, and then Rhythmic is I believe, futures. And I'm trying to think if there's, which is actually AMP Global is a futures broker. So it would be AMP, Gain Capital, Optimus, Interactive Brokers. And then if you wanted to trade through TD Ameritrade, the only caveat is you can get the quotes on your Medved, but you would have to make the trades through the Thinkorswim platform. They don't allow for API trading of futures, which is kind of odd. I wish they did, but they don't. So anytime if I want to make a futures trade through my TD account, I have to do it through through Thinkorswim. And then I actually have a separate broker that I also have a futures account with, which is TradeStation, although that does not connect through Medved. Okay, so that's your first step is you will need the data to be able to practice. Now, you can set up a demo account with interactive brokers and practice with them. But if you don't have real-time quotes from like TD Ameritrade for futures, you'll be using delayed quotes from interactive brokers, unless you have a live account. If you have a live account with them with futures data, you can paper trade real time. Okay. So to open a demo account though with interactive brokers, you just go to their website and then where it says free trial, you click free trial, and then where it says start your free trial, you just basically need your email, you select a username and password in your country, and then they'll give you a demo account. Okay. Once you've done that, you will need to download the Trader workstation. So that is under, where is that? Trading platforms. And then you would download right here, software, the Trader workstation. And then in addition to that, there are some very specific settings you will need to make. There are some settings you will need to set up on interactive brokers. I'm going to give you all the link. On their Trader workstation, it's their API settings so that it'll allow you to work or trade through Medved. And then once you have installed the Trader workstation, you actually have to have it running. Okay, you have to have it running in the background to be able to make trades, demo trades. So this is the demo account that I have. I don't have a live account with Interactive. I used 2 years ago. I don't have a live account with them anymore. Hold on one second. So you would need to start up the Trader workstation. You would need to go to Edit Global Configuration, go to API Settings, and that's where you make these adjustments that I gave you the link to. Uncheck read only. You got to change the socket port. There's a couple other things that have to be checked. Okay. And then you can minimize that, and that will allow you to then, once you connect to that account, see there's interactive brokers, then you can trade through IB. One of the other things I always encourage anybody new to trading futures, S&P futures, I encourage you to demo trade first, because it is a very different animal. Once you have started demo trading and you feel like you're ready to go live, the next step is to start with a micro lot. Okay. So just to give you an understanding, the futures trade in contracts, right? One contract has a certain value to it. One S&P contract has a certain value to it. And I forget the actual number. It's a pretty good size number that the actual full size contract is valued at. So you actually, depending on the broker, you need anywhere from 500 to about $1,500 in capital and margin to trade one standard contract. To trade a micro contract, one micro, you would need typically 1/10 of that. So futures contracts move in ticks. So on the S&P, every tick is basically a quarter point. So there's 4 ticks per point. And on one contract, 1 point is worth $50 or $12.50 per tick. Okay. On a micro, it's 1/10 of that. So you're looking at $1.25 per tick or $5 for 1 point. There's not you're not going to make a ton of money trading micro contracts, and the idea, because of commissions and everything else, but the idea of that is to understand how things flow and get a feel for it when you're trading a micro contract versus a standard full contract. Because once you start pushing your number of contracts, if you decide to push your numbers up, when you start getting into multiple contracts, small moves end up being a huge amount. I have a friend that trades S&P every day, and her normal contracts 10 to 20 contracts per trade. Professional traders, you're talking, some of them are trading 100, 200 contracts or more at a time, which on 100 contracts, you're talking about $5,000 for every 1 point move. Even at 10 contracts, you're talking about $500 for every 1 point move in the S&P. So start small, practice, get comfortable before you decide to go live. And then when you go live, start really small. If you decide to set up with one of the other brokers, let me know. I would be curious. I haven't had experience yet with utilizing Optimus or AMP. I know AMP is actually a really good futures broker. Low commissions, low margin rates. I know at TradeStation, I pay $2 and I think it's $2.73 per side per contract for a standard contract. So, all right. So that's just some of the basics. Any questions about that so far? What I've covered? Any questions about any of that information that I've given you? So going with one of these brokers, you can trade through the clear lines. Yeah. So if you sign up with one of these integrated brokers, I would say AMP is probably, I think I know somebody that has an AMP account is pretty happy with them. They're really good. Um, um, I'm not. I'm guessing Optimus is probably pretty good. Interactive is a good broker. GainCap, they're all decent brokers. I would, and Jana, if you want to, Jana D, if you want to talk offline, I'd be happy to talk with you. I'll get a little more information about AMP, but from I think if you get real serious about it, initially for starters, you could do it through your TD Ameritrade just to get comfortable. But once you get real serious with it, I think you're going to want one of the integrated brokers where you can make the trades directly from the charts, and where you have the ability to do advanced order types, like bracket orders and things like that, trail and whatnot. So so the integrated brokers for futures, again, it you can just log into, you open up and look, but AMP Global, um, Gain Capital, Optimus, and Interactive Brokers all offer futures. I can also check with Jerry at Medved, Jerry or Mike. Let me see if they have any comments. But I will, if any of y'all decide to, let me know, and I'll do some additional research. I think, if when you're just starting out, you can experiment and make your trades either through the Thinkorswim platform, or if you just want to practice, you can practice using interactive brokers like what we're going to do here. So what we're looking at right now is my active layout. This is the same layout that I use every day for trading stocks, and it does work very well for futures. I helped Jana D set up a layout that a little more simplistic for her, um, being a prior wise trader and not real into technical. Um, but this is the layout that I'm comfortable with, so I want to focus on this layout. One thing that is important, I think, is looking at my 8-minute interval, which you see in the bottom right-hand corner. So we've got a half minute, a 1 minute, a 2 minute, and an 8-minute. The bottom right, it does have the real basic clear lines only, as well as now remember the opening range when you're pulling up S&P through Medved. The opening range is actually the beginning of when the new day starts, which was actually yesterday afternoon. So when futures start their next trading day, I think it's 6 o'clock Eastern, the new trading day begins, and that's so don't the opening range really doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. It's where the prior day, pretty much where we got started yesterday. Just remember that it's not the first 15 minutes of the today or the first 5 minutes. It's the opening range from yesterday afternoon. Um, but this tells a pretty good story. The 8-minute, you're looking at right now a pretty good uptrend. This actually turned right at VWAP. That was a beautiful turning point. Actually, you had VWAP, and on this chart I have a 200. That's a 200 SMA on the 2-minute. that was right where it bounced. So once you got into the uptrend, once it started uptrending, then you're looking either for longs, which you wait for a little pullback and then like right in here, and then try to get long, or right in here, or pull back here. Ideally, if you can get a pullback to the 34, that would be ideal. We haven't seen a pullback to the 34 since it took off, which means it's been on a pretty steady move higher. So the only thing we can look at right now would be for a potential top, which we are starting to see on the half minute. So you can watch your half minute, you'll see the CCI start to roll over and turn red. We've got a couple down arrows. I'll tell you, it's definitely riskier up here. So I'm gonna do, oh, it just dumped. I'm just gonna do 5 micros from here, which would be equal to a half of a standard contract. So a couple things about trading with interactive brokers. As I was telling you, if you're trading off a demo account, their site and what you see on the trader workstation is going to be delayed. But if you have real-time quotes like I have from TD Ameritrade, because that's where I'm getting my data, the order fill is real time and the P&L will be real time. Okay. But what you see on their platform will be delayed. It's kind of a weird thing, but again, real time data is what I'm running from TD Ameritrade. Delayed demo account from IB right now, but it's showing the real time fill and the real time P&L. If I go over to it would be showing a delayed and a not accurate on the Interactive Brokers platform. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're basically trading off of a top. You know, we had an exhaustion run. This could be, as you know, we have specific strategies for trading stocks. That applies, those strategies that we trade with stocks also apply to futures, where we talk about looking for a reset or an inception. Those type of trades also are part of what we would trade in futures. So we're basically, what we did is we picked off the top. This could be a reset where it goes back long, or it could turn into an inception. See what happened, our 8-minute? It's starting to come down the hill, right? And it's converging. So we know we're in a pretty good spot. The important thing is once you get in, you want to get a stop in pretty quick. So we could go to break even, or we could give it a little bit of breathing room. So I'm going to set a stop just above the high of the day because I want to give it a little bit of breathing room for right now. But I'll tell you, S&P moves fast, you know? It moves really fast. And you can think you're on a great spot, and then all of a sudden it just rips right back the other way. So had we gone to break even, guess what? We probably just would have gotten stopped out. So I'm trying to give it a little bit of room. I'm trying to see if this is a legitimate turnaround location. So right now my risk is $84. That's if I get stopped out, I lose 84. That's on, think of this as half of a standard contract. So every 1 point of move in S&P will be $25. Every 1 point is $25. What you want to try to get in the habit of early on is trying to lock in some quick profits, because S&P does move very fast, and you can be up 50, $100, and then in a blink of an eye, it can be gone. By trading smaller initially, you'll also figure out how to trust a little bit and see if you can let a position go. One of the things you may want to consider would be trading 2 micros and then locking profit on one, and then setting a stop at break even on the other, and seeing if you can let that run. So what you would do is, let's do this. I'm going to add another 5 contracts on. So in essence, we now are trading a standard contract short. So when I get up, let's see, 97.14. All right, so we're already up over a point. I want to let it go a little bit further. Actually, let's do this. Let's set a limit. Let's set a limit to lock in basically 2 points on half the position. What I wanted to try to do is try to lock in half, and then see how quick things bounce right back up. I want to try to lock in half and then move this stop down so we can layer. We could actually layer. We'll throw another limit way down here just in case. Like if we, so this would be kind of like a multi-layered bracket order in essence. Basically, taking half at 2 points and then taking the other half at a much bigger. Actually, I'd rather just put a stop right behind on the other half. And once we get the first half taken out, let me cancel that out. So if we get this filled right here, then what I'll do is I'll put a stop on the other half at break even. That was what I was trying to get at. So we could try to let one half run. So remember, these trade in contracts, not in shares. Okay. So hold on, let me. Um, I'm trying to remember. Um, let's see if they give you a clear margin. Okay, so micro S&P intraday, it's $40 per contract, right? Standard S&P intraday is 400 per contract. That's the margin required intraday. Now, if you hold overnight, it's big, but intraday it's $400, and that's to control. So a standard S&P contract. Let me see. I can't remember the actual value. It's a lot. I think it was like 30 or 40,000. The quote true value of the futures contract. Full contract specs. Yeah, I don't remember the full value. Hold on. Yeah, I don't remember, but so one again, one standard contract for every point it moves, it's $50. On a micro, for every 1 micro, it's $5 for every dollar, every point. Yeah, I'm sorry, Albert. I don't remember what the actual. So I don't know what is going on, but these stops are not triggering for some reason. I had an issue earlier. I, I this I just I don't know what happened, but I was messing earlier, testing with something, and I had this problem, and it wouldn't trigger. It wouldn't trigger the stop for some weird reason. So I can close it manually. I think it'll close it. Oh, I have to do a market. Something's hanging up on their demo today because it did this, like I said earlier. I had one that didn't trigger. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out why this is not working. It's letting you in, but not letting you out. That kind of messes up my, let's try it this way. Let's set a limit right here. Let's see if it goes out on the limit. And now it fills. See, I don't know what's going on. Something is messed up on there today on their demo. Sorry about that, guys. So remember what I was saying earlier. This pulled back and then it took off and ran. So this ended up being just what I was saying earlier was looking like a reset. When you have those quick profits, is you got to literally grab it. When you're going to counter trend, of course I get out and now it dumps. And you don't want to chase S&P. You definitely don't want to chase. When I had that quick little profit, we should have just bailed out. I was messing around trying to do some things. You literally, in a moving market, when you're going counter trend, if you can get a point, you want to grab the point. All right, let's try to catch it back to the upside now. Let's see if this is a, let me try something again. I just want to put a limit right here to see if it hits it and takes it. See, that time it took it. We got a quick point. So I don't know. No, Cindy trades actually. Cindy trades S&P options. She's a SPY put and call trader. The other person I was referring to is actually my partner, one of my partners in Clear Trading Systems. She's a professional. Well, I mean, she trades full time S&P futures. But yeah, Cindy trades SPY. You could also trade SPY as well, and just trade options if you don't want to trade futures. They would be similar to an extent because of the leverage. The difference is it's easier and less expensive to get in and out of S&P futures. You know, you can like that quick, you know, that quick point move would have been 50, actually it was a little over $50 like that. So, you know, to catch that in SPY, you would need to trade what, at least 10 contracts, and then you would need a good, probably at least 20-cent move in SPY. Yes, Anne said, thanks, Kipp. I missed the conversation about Cindy yesterday. Did she start in January 500? And did she say how much she's up to? She's up to the mid 20,000s, like 25,000 range. Yeah, since January. And again, that's just trading SPY. So you can do the same thing. You can trade SPY, SPY, and trade very similarly, but you just have to capture a little bigger move in SPY. So, you know, we could do, you know, from up here, you could do puts or down here, you know, had you bought calls, you know, when we bounced off the, I mean, that bounce was right near VWAP here as well, the 200 in VWAP. So when we broke out, you know, let's call it the 387s. Let's see where those 387s are now. And on SPY they have options that expire Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So the 387s, wow, I don't think they were at their lows, but they've gone up pretty good today. They're trading at their highs right now. So it could have been 250. Well, I'll tell you, we've gone from 287 to, so we've gone 3 points. So that those calls were probably at that point were right around $1 and are now, I wonder we can get raw data and time of sales for those. Nah, they don't provide that. I was going to say we could figure out where it was right then. But yes, correct, Ann. But I'll tell you, she had one day that she made like 5 grand in one day. She had a large number of contracts. But yes. So, but that's, if you're more inclined to trade SPY, you can do that. You can do that with options. Now, the difference is, I'll tell you, with, let me go back to at ES, it's MES, micro ES M21. So what that stands, just so y'all know, so the future symbol at, and then M for micro, and then ES for S&P. M is the current month that it's trading. That's the June contract, and then 21 for the year. So micro ES June of 21. That's the coding. If it was the standard S&P, it would be ESM21. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. She's phenomenal. Um, 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 I just lost my train of thought. Oh, so here's the thing. Here's the biggest advantage of trading futures versus uh, stocks or options is if you don't have 25,000 to trade with, you can open a futures account with a few $1,000s and or less if you want to just trade micros. You can start out with micros with, I'd say at least $1,000. You can start small and not put a lot at risk. Okay. And there's no day trading rule. So you can trade back and, multiple times a day without worrying about the day trading rule. That's the biggest advantage. Oh, we're rolling over again. Hold on. That's the biggest advantage for futures. There's no day trading rule. Let's see if we can catch it a little short here. So AMP Global, if you decide you want to trade just futures, might be a good choice because their margin rates are low and they do integrate. And I think their commissions are low too. I didn't even look at their margin traders. Um, why does it not show their IB's good too. Yeah. I would, between would go one or the other. Here we go. Hold on. Count fees. Exchange data fees. See, they're going to charge you for data, but you could use the quotes from um, I don't know why it does not show their commissions, low commissions, because it's right there. Oh, you have to request it. I know they're pretty reasonable. Yeah, if you've already got IB, then you could just trade through IB. I will say when we're in a rip like we are right now, you in the 8 minute is the tell, right? It's hard to go against the uh, when S&P starts ripping like this, it's hard to fight. Don't fight it. That's like when I took that quick long, it it was like that. We got out, we got an order fill quick. When that up momentum is in play, you want to be in that direction. I'm just not wanting to, it's way overextended, so I'm not going to try to go long up at the highs right now. I'm looking to see if we get a little mini pullback here at the top, but we may not. You don't want to fight this. And we're about to break out. You can see across the board. But I like because you can have your order staged and ready right on the chart because this all does move very quickly. All right, we're starting to lose a little momentum, but it's still strong. That eight, oh no, the eight just opened up. I saw that eight just open up. And you can you look how far, it's just this was the spot down here to get long and just ride that. That was that's a 27-point move. If you caught the bounce from down here, trying to go against that now is, see, you don't want to fight. That's why I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. I've been doing this long enough with S&P is you don't try to fight. You don't fight that one. That's a monster. Now it's going to roll, of course. All right. We're going to try to fight the monster. I don't like fighting this monster, but let's see if I can get a little something out of it. It's just too strong up here. Yeah, see, right back up. They're just running it into the close. I should have just gone long, but I would, you know me. I like the challenge. What? That was weird. I'm just looking to see if we get a little quick pullback right here. So this would be like trading two standards, basically. 20 micros would be like two standard contracts. So every point now is $100 that it moves. Every tick is 25 bucks. And I tell you, it can get frightening. It moves fast. Come on, keep dropping. There we go. There we go. We're gonna get filled. Almost there. There we go. Yay! That was fun. And then it blows down. See, S&P, I'm just telling you, it does crazy moves. Look at that. It just dropped like 3 points. This is why you got to practice with small micros, because and then it dumps. There's some wild swings, but you definitely want to trade off of you can use trailing stops. Yep. Yep. Um, yeah, hold on. Let me just I'm just going to throw one little micro on there so you can see. Yeah, so if I want to do a trailing stop by, so it's going to say how much do I want to trail it by. We'll do three points. So this, for some reason, this trail is not working. It shouldn't go up. It should only go down. I don't know why it's not working right. It's not supposed to go up. It's only supposed to go down. So for some reason, but yes, you can do trailing stops. See if it comes down and hits the limit again. I typically use limits when I'm trading futures for profit. I set targets. Yep, there you go. It takes the emotion out. Or you can do brackets. All right, since we just got a couple minutes left, any questions? Any questions? I might open an AMP account just to test it, just so I can see how well they function. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I know we didn't get to do a lot of, trading. We covered a lot of just the basics of, of futures and how to get things kind of set up. Um, next next week, if y'all want to spend some additional time on this, I'm happy to, Tuesday and Thursday. If any of y'all want to come in and ask me about futures, we can definitely dig a little more deeper on it. And I'm even happy to do a session, like if some of y'all want to do like a earlier in the day, so we have a little more time. If y'all want to do a earlier session, we could start maybe Tuesday or Thursday next week. We could start it a little earlier, maybe at 2 o'clock, and just focus on S&P. Just doing, looking for trades and watching strictly S&P. I'm cool with that. Do any of y'all have interest in that next week? Because I know this is a whole nother animal, and I would be happy to do that. Okay, so let's plan on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. We'll do an expanded ES training session. All right. Tuesday, 2 o'clock, expanded ES training session. So thank you guys. I hope you learned some things and look forward to, I'll see most of you guys in the morning. Have a great evening, everyone. Jana D, good to have you back with us. And I'll see you guys, most of y'all tomorrow. And the rest of y'all, I'll hope to see you back on Tuesday. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.